So let's see, are we good? Yeah. So I'm testing the fuel pump. This fuel pump came off of a commercial Scag lawnmower. I'll put the part number in the description if this actually does work later on. But my goal is to not have to pull the tank on the Suburban. I'm putting an external pump. I'm just not going to go through that crap, especially if the pump goes out again. I don't have the back for it. So it's not that I'm weak, I just got a messed up back from a car accident in the 90s, so I just have to deal with it. So this is what I've rigged up. I'm going to come out of this. This is where my gas source is. And then I got a bypass here. I'm going to flush the system and I'm going to let it build up with gas. So I'm also kind of checking flow as well as pressure. And then I rigged up a pressure gauge. This is actually what I had on my well at one time to check air pressure. It's a 30 psi gauge, so I'm hoping this thing kicks up to at least 15 psi, and if it doesn't, wah wah, I'm just going to have to order a pump that does at least 15 psi, because a truck needs at least 15 psi to be in a happy spot, to have some headroom, and that will the regulator won't have to work so hard. So I'm expecting leaks, maybe, because I got all this stuff rigged up. I mean, I used line that I had here. This is actually a compressor fitting that I got the hose to work over with some soap. This is water hose fitting that's attached to another flare fitting, and it's a barb fitting actually. It's like this, but a little bit bigger. And then I put a black hose over that with the water hose over that. I cut the hose and I put it in this 1 gallon distilled water jug because I want to flush the system and see what kind of trash comes out of the there before I start, because I want to save the gas, but I want to pump this for a while. So I want to wait for everybody to get in the chat for just a second. It says 1 person watching. I'm just wondering if I'm buffering. So if I'm not buffering, put 1 in the chat, whoever's watching. So if I'm not buffering, put 1 in the chat. And I got it set up like this so I don't have any sparks. So I have a switch panel that I've already set up for my test lab here. I'm always testing things. So when you're working with something that could have fumes, you don't want to create sparks. So all I'm going to do is just hit that breaker switch there. And this stuff actually came off windmill stuff. So 1, all right, so we're good. All right. I don't care if there's a lot of people watching at this point. So I'm going to hold the flashlight. I'm going to keep it on bypass, and we should see gas filling up the distilled jug. And then I'll turn the valve off, and then we should see pressure build up if it's got the ability to produce any pressure. So I'm going to hit the switch here. Pump's on. It's filling up pretty quick. All right, so it's filling up quick. Wow. All right, so I'm going to slowly turn the valve off here. I don't think my pressure gauge is working. Oh no, the needle's stuck on the other side. Son of a bitch. All right. So we got a little leak right here. Not too bad. So yeah, my needle is stuck on the other side. This pressure gauge is the needle stuck. That happens a lot. So I might have to find a new pressure gauge, but damn it. I just now saw that. That happens so much. That needle is on the other side. I wonder if the gauge is sprung. All right, well, I'm gonna have to see if I can, at this point, I'm either gonna break the glass on this gauge, because I'm kind of pissed off right now, because this is so rusted. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that cap off. Damn it. Let me see if I got another gauge here that I could screw on there. I need a 30 psi gauge. See, I have this one, but I have to adapt it. And this one actually does vacuum and pressure. But yeah, I'd have to, how would I get that to work? I'd have to adapt it. Yeah, see? That sucks. Well, I'm just going to break the glass on this thing. And see if I can, I'm going to put a cloth over it and put a hammer to it and see if I can pull that needle over it And if I can pull that needle over the gauge, then we'll be able to see if the pressure gauge still works. So I'm just going to put a paper towel on this and give it a good whack. But I don't want to hit it too hard. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with glass everywhere. I'll just get a screwdriver. Or no, I'll just get a punch. See, this sucks. I guess we're doing it live. Alright. So I'm going to hit it down here. And I'm going to cover it with this paper towel. And I'm going to hit it on this side to shatter it. There we go. I got it shattered. I'm just going to keep shattering the glass all the way around. I just don't want to hit the... and then I'm going to have to take a pair of pliers. So now what I can do is take a needle nose plier. I'm going to catch all that glass. Let me get my needle nose here. It's always something, right? Alright. I hope that damn gauge works. If not... But the pump has a lot of flow. That's promising. So, let's see. I got this bag here. We'll put all this glass in. Are we having fun yet? So this is not the way I wanted my video to go. But if this was easy, then monkeys would be doing it, right? So you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing right now. I'm just breaking this glass. If I could just get it broke right there. Just enough to flip that needle over. Alright. Now I need to shake all the glass out. I'm sure this video is just all over the place. Now I need to get a little screwdriver and pop that needle over that tab to see if it could just be that the whole thing is sprung. Okay, yeah. So that just kind of sucks. Well, we're going to do a test anyway. It's kind of showing like right out of the gate, like 5 psi. But if it's showing, okay, it's showing like almost 7 psi. Well, I'll just have to do the math at this point. But I'm not wasting any more time. Alright, so we're going to start it up again. The biggest problem is you know, this stuff is leaking a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to let it free flow again. I'm going to turn on the flashlight, and I'm just going to immediately shut it off. Because here's our bypass. It filled up that quick, this jug. So it's got plenty of flow. But the question is, does it have pressure? So if it's at, let's see, it's at like 7 or 8 psi right now. So we'll have to do the math to see if I don't even know if the pressure gauge is going to work, but we're just going to add whatever, or subtract. We're going to subtract 8 from it, 7.5. We'll subtract 8 from it. Alright, so I'm going to turn on our switch, and I'm going to turn it off. And hopefully you don't have a line blow. Yeah, this gauge is not working. It's not moving. Okay, there it goes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's pressuring up big time. So watch. The gauge finally started working. It's going all the way to 30. Oh yeah. So this pump's going to work. Yay. Look at that sucker pressure up. Alright. Well, I don't want to deadhead this pump. Rock and roll. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably stage all my lines tonight and get everything ready to just screw in there tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be a busy day, because it's no agenda day, and no agenda takes up the majority of my to at least 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I stop everything I'm doing. It's kind of a ritual for me I got so busy Sunday, I forgot about No Agenda for the first time in years. But I got caught up in my own vortex to where I forgot about No Agenda. And but I listened to the show, the part that I missed, so I got caught up. So like I said, I wasn't creating any sparks. I had it hooked up to a breaker here. This is my test panel. And this is supposed to show the amps that it's pulling, but I don't have the positive side connected. So just for grins, I'm curious to see how many amps this pump pulls. How can we do that? We can put this positive over here. All right, so now I'm just checking for amps. So this is going to create a little spark, but there's no vapors. All right, so here's our amps. Ooh, we're fixing to short out on top of our pump here. So this is getting a little bit dangerous because that could short out. All right, so I'm going to check my amps when I get pressure. So I'm going to add a little pressure, like I'm going to add operating pressure, like that's going to be like 15 psi. So this pump doesn't hardly pull any amps at all. So that's definitely it's at 30 right now. Yeah, so we're good. I'll have to go back and look on the video, but I'm going to deadhead it for a second and see what the amps go up to. That's way past 30. Yeah, we didn't even hit 4 amps. So yeah, I got gas all over my hand. And see, the gas is coming from here. This valve is leaking. This is really hard to do when you got a phone on your wrist. So I've got the phone on my wrist, but I guess it's easier than holding it in your hand. But yeah, that's a little area there where we got a little leakage, but that's okay. So I'm pretty excited. I wish this gauge wouldn't have been completely broke, but it started off at what, 7? So let's see. We'll do this. We know we went to 30, and I went past 30. So Alexa, what's 30 minus 8?
30 minus 8 is 22.
So yeah, it went up to 22 psi instantly. Sweet. So I'm gonna order another one of these pumps if it works out really good. And it goes on, they're expensive. These things are like $100 something bucks, maybe more. I can't remember, I priced them at one time. But it's a commercial fuel pump for a Skag mower. I'm pretty sure it's Skag is what they put it on. So look how quick that filled up. Look at this. Look how much fuel it put in this just by doing the testing. It's a half a gallon, over half a gallon of fuel that it put in there with that test. So I'm pretty jacked up now. I'm still fasting. I kind of earlier when I was fixing to start testing this stuff felt like I was getting a little bit anxious, and I think I was just concerned about the test. You know, not a not an anxiety attack, but I was anxious. So now I'm just going to get some of this gas off my hands here. And yeah, I'm doing this in my underwear, but nobody can tell. I got good looking underwear. I'm not wearing whitey tighties, so just in case just in case you care, it's not whitey tighties. They look like shorts. I mean, you really couldn't tell from a distance that I'm wearing underwear. I mean, look. See? You can't tell in the mirror. Well, you can't see in the mirror, but we'll go to this mirror. See? You can't tell. I mean, they look like shorts, right? So, everything's cool. Oh, here's some other good news. That charger I got, I'm going to get another one. I'll probably go back this week and get another one. This charger is a Haas. This thing is not junk. It's a 6 amp charger, and you can set it to 2, 4, or 6 amps. And I set it to 6. And this is the brand. It's called Traveler. I guess it's the house brand for Tractor Supply, because it seemed like a lot of the stuff they have there now is called Traveler. But check it out. So it kept my 4 AGM batteries up into charge state, and it should start floating them later. So at 14.2, 14.1, you know, there's going to be a discrepancy just because they're two different charge controllers. But at nighttime, I was dropping down into 13.1 into sometimes 13 and 2.9, which is not good for your batteries. They sulfate. So I got 4 big AGM batteries that thing is keeping up there, and it's got a fan built in. So that charger has a fan, so when you're charging with high current, the fan kicks on if it overheats, if it needs to. 29 bucks. I get it with tax exempt because of the ag thing, but you know, 29 plus tax if you don't have ag exemption. That is dirt cheap because I'm paying 20 to 30 to 40 bucks for some of the other ones at China Mart, and they only do 3 amps, and that's these right here. I'll show you. So this one here is the EverStart. That's Walmart's house brand, and this one is a 6 or 12 volt, and I'm pretty sure this is a 2 or 3 amp. I think it's a 2 amp, but this one keeps my battery bank behind the house up in a high state too. You don't want to let your batteries get low. So yeah, this one's at 14.1. So anyway, I'm tangenting, and I think I'm more dehydrated than anything. I checked my blood sugar earlier. About 3 or 4 hours ago, I was on a 29-hour fast. So I'm probably, I don't know, 34 hours right now, 35. I'm still fasting. All I've had some distilled water and a little bit of tea today. All right, so now I'm gonna come off that exciting high because my pump's gonna work. I really wanna install it tonight, but I gotta do wiring, so I need daylight. All right, so somebody says, bring Jim, Bim Jim. Hey buddy, he says, hey buddy. All right, I've got a 99 Explorer. I'm having trouble with the fuel system. Well, I'm pretty good a trade tree mechanic, and if I can't answer your question, I know the most knowledgeable mechanics. Every day I have the phone call away from them. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go live at Jay's Auto probably this week, maybe Friday, because one of the guys that is kind of helping out Jay over there, he builds rat rods, and he's got some badass rat rods he was showing me today. So maybe we'll take a cruise in it. All right, so hey everybody, sketching something or another. Who's that? Scratching in India? Scratch? I can't see that. I have my glasses that I can't really see that close with on. Fry TV Now. What are the fastest? Okay, Fry. What are the fastest for what is your goal in doing that? Oh, what am I fasting for? Okay, here's what I'm fasting for. Right here. If you want to really know the truth. All right, I have a work injury from a knee injury. Half my professional career, I was a plumber for 5 years, and I dug trenches. I did you name it, top outs, rough ends, main breaks, polybutylene replacements, sprinklers, you name it. I did across the board AC work. I worked in the whole field at Capital Mechanical. That's where my first part of my knee injury started, and then the second part was being a professional structured cabling guy for 20 years of my life. And my right knee is almost bone on bone because it's been just, damage. So I want to lose weight to take pressure off my knee. All right, that's one thing. But another thing is this right here. I want a 6-pack. So I'm getting close. So I'm going to keep doing my forced fasting. I fast every day. Okay, this is a fact. This is how I do it. I fast every day, and I push myself a little bit later, like 30 minutes later every day. So Today I pushed myself because I had to get all this stuff done, run errands, and then I had to get my work done. I was down to the last 10 or 20 minutes before my log had to kick off. So I haven't even had time to eat. So I get so busy I don't eat. And then at a certain point you're not hungry. And that's the point I'm at right now. I'm not hungry, but I'm thinking, should I eat? But I'm not hungry really. I'm more thirsty than anything. But that's the point of fasting. Plus, I want to test my body to see if I'm capable of it. And I checked my blood sugar about 3 hours ago. I can't remember now, 2 or 3 hours ago. And my blood sugar was at 80, okay? So at 80, that was 29 hours into my fast, and my blood sugar was at 80. So that's good. That means my body's functionally, metabolically like it should. Say that 20 times backwards. But anyway, so I'm testing my body because that's part of preparing. Prepping is not just guns and gold and cigarettes. Prepping is also about getting your body ready for what could be coming or what is coming. And the less you eat, the better your body's going to be, period. As far as dealing with other things. So that's why I'm fasting. Alright, so the fuel line refused to disconnect. Understand, okay. Is scratching in India. My name is scratching is, okay, that's a bigger print. Scratching in India? Am I saying that right? Scratching? I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Scratching in India. I guess I'm saying that right. I don't know. But somebody can always correct me later. But so anyway, here's my lines here. We don't need this. I bought 25 foot of fuel line. I haven't decided where I'm going to locate the fuel pump, so I'm really kind of don't want to stage my, put that up there. I really almost don't want to stage my lines. I really kind of want to figure out, because I'm going to keep this metal line, because it goes by the manifold, and I'm going to cut this short, and I'm going to put at least 2 hose clamps on this. This is the only part I'm concerned about leaking. Because if I cut this straight, it's still going to be the same length, but then I got this flex crap that's going to send debris up line, and I don't trust it. This is 91. Alexa, how long ago was 1991?
January 1st, 1991 was 30 years, 7 months, and 3
So the truck's over 30 years old. So this is OEM stuff here. This has never been changed. It had rust. You should have seen. I buffed this line and cleaned it up. I cleaned both of these. It just looked, it had 30 years of dirt on it, layers of dirt. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just put this up, and I'm not going to pre-stage my lines because I kind of want to put the fuel pump in a place where the wires are not going to get caught up, and so if it does go out, it's going to be easier to replace. And I guess I could put it right there by the fuel filter. I don't know. But I don't want it to be in front of the fuel filter because of the, when I replace the fuel filter, I don't want this in the way. So I kind of want it on the back side of the fuel filter because that gets it away from all the mess, like the transfer case and the manifold. So I'm probably going to go, even though it's going to extend my wires a little bit, this thing doesn't pull any current at all. You saw it. It didn't even pull 3 amps. So, and that was at a deadhead. So it's going to be, operating pressure is probably going to be 15 PSI. So it's probably pull 2 to 2.5 amps. Very efficient pump. So guess what song is on? Huh? Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. You know what time that is. I didn't tell it to play it, but it's giving me a hint. Look at all these speakers. I just set this up all up this week. That's a 15. So now I got 2 15s, a 10, and a 6-inch sub, and it hits hard. And then I got all these other separates, and then I got some more. I got a sub here, 10-inch sub NHT, and then I got a Bose sub back here. So yeah, it's rocking. Anyway, that was a tangent. Gotta have tangents, right? Truth Junkie. So yeah, I don't know if you just got here, Truth Junkie, but I tested out the pump, and it easily does. I mean, instantly it'll go up to 30 PSI. So the pump works. I had to break the glass on the gauge. It seems like it almost isn't glass. It's almost like some kind of hard plastic, but I don't know. It's weird. It acted like glass when I broke it the first time though. But the meter, the gauge is stuck at it's stuck at like 8 PSI, but it kicked over way past 30 as soon as I started restricting the flow. So the gauge is gonna work. I mean the pump is gonna work. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a picture of the part number, and I'm gonna go inside later and I'm gonna research where to get them and what they cost, and it should be common. And see, the reason why I don't want to buy an aftermarket pump, because the aftermarket fuel pumps, the pressure pumps, a lot of them are absolute junk. I've read forums, they leak and all that shit. This is made to work in harsh conditions. Look at the quality of build of this thing. Look at the build quality. I don't know if you can see it, but this is like a high quality pump here. And the coolest thing about this pump, it's got these mounting brackets on the back, so I can actually find a bolt on the frame somewhere, like one of the bolts that holds something else, and bolt it to the frame if I want, or I can make another bracket that bolts onto here and that bolts onto the frame if it doesn't reach right. So, you know, I'll probably take something like this. I got material all around here like this, something like this, and just bolt that to here, and then that, you know, I'll figure it out. But I got scrap metal and from all my projects, so I'll make it happen. But yeah, I had to rig up a lot of plumbing stuff. This is a combination of water hose, tees, water hose fitting, and then air compressor stuff. That's an air compressor fitting, and this goes onto a sink. This is what connects to the bottom of a sink, and this goes to the stop part. So yeah, a lot of stuff that I had to rig up to make it happen, and then that's my overflow. So I don't know if you just got here, Truth Junkie, but you can go back and watch the test. And no, I'm not selling you the 65 Texas flood. Yeah, it's been flooding. We didn't get it too bad. We got some flooding in Austin and here. My assistant thought I was talking to her. See how she stopped playing the music? I said here, but she probably thought I said the C word. Let me see if I can say it in the kitchen without her stopping. Computer. Yeah, I can say computer in here and it won't stop the music. But yeah, that's the activation word. So I set my frame rate to 24 frames per second. Is it looking any different than earlier today? Does the quality look better or worse? Or does it look the same? I want a brand new old 4x4 with carburetor and no computer. Well, I don't. I said the C word. I want everything except the carburetor. Fuck carburetors. I used to rebuild them for a living. I used to rebuild them for Tasco Auto Parts here in the hometown. They would, once they got about 2 or 3 in, if there wasn't a pressing thing on them, I'd go in the back. Sometimes I just did one, and I'd rebuild the carburetors, and I'd make some pretty good money. And it was good money, side job, when I was a kid. And I got really good at rebuilding them carbs because I had a lot of experience with carburetors. But carburetors suck. You know, fuel injection's the way to go. The only way to go. The only thing wrong with fuel injection is the modern shit. The old fuel injection, like get a Holley aftermarket fuel injection system. They make good stuff. But the new fuel injection stuff, the multi-port injection stuff, I don't like. Where you got an injector for each cylinder. I like just the 2 injectors and you're done. My Dodge has the multi-port injector, so there's 8 injectors on that truck, and it's a 98. But when I've owned carburetors and injector vehicles, and I prefer, hands down, injector. I have had less fuel problems with my injector trucks than my carburetor trucks. Carburetor trucks, it's always, you gotta prime the carb for it to start first. Then you got, okay, now you got this problem. Now the vacuum, the accelerator pump's old, and you got to replace the accelerator pump. Oh, and the fuel pump breaks. But the only good thing about the fuel pump breaking on 65, it's easy to replace. But I'm fixing the problem with the Suburban. It's not going to have a fuel pump internally. So it's going to have an external fuel pump. That's the whole point of what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to cut the wires that are going to the... I'm probably going to cut them up there on the firewall. That's the smartest thing to do, because I'm pretty sure the relay for the fuel pump is on the firewall on that truck. If I remember right, I think that relay is right there behind the throttle body for the 91 Suburban. So yeah, I'm with you except for everything on the carburetor stuff, because trust me, man, I'm sick of rebuilding carburetors. And here's another thing. I can rebuild a throttle body in a heartbeat compared to a carburetor as far as the time that it takes. There's a lot less moving parts in a TBI fuel injection system. I'm talking TBI, the late 80s, early 90s Chevy TBI system. They're so easy to rebuild compared to a carburetor. There's really not any adjustments that you have to do. The only adjustment you really have to do sometimes is the air control valve that's on the back. You know, you need to make sure it's clean. That's the only problem that the TBI has, is sometimes they have a high idle and a low idle. So you got to set the base idle with, you know, plugging off the... Basically, how the old TBI stuff works, it's a forced vacuum leak. And that's how they get it to idle up and down. But anyway, I'm getting really nerdy with the truck stuff, but I'm just kind of excited now because this pump's going to work, and I just need to get her hooked up and get my wiring done, and we'll get the Suburban back on the road so we can go cruising and jamming to some Poker Face, Natasha Maeve, you know, copyright-free stuff. Truth-seeking music. All right, 4-barrel good. I prefer, believe it or not, 2 barrels. If you're not racing, if you're not street racing, 2 barrels all day long. And if you have the right, well, okay, fuel injection, 2 barrels. It doesn't matter. So I'm a 2-barrel person because I like the throttle body response on a 2-barrel better than a 4-barrel. Just because I'm talking carburetors for the most part, because it controls the power curve better. Now, yeah, of course, if you got a big hot rod engine like a 500 cubic inch or a 460 old Ford with a 460, you're gonna want a big ass carburetor on there. But for the most part, I take 2-barrel fuel injection any day of the week. As far as performance, and I'm 51. I'm not street racing anymore, unless you watched the stream earlier. I was doing that to clean the truck out. I do that probably about once every 6 months. So I don't do that all the time to the truck, but I was wanting to clean it out, and I'm also just kind of seeing if it's still capable of doing that. Because if I threw a rod doing that, then okay, the truck was probably not ready for a road trip. You know what I'm saying? But if I can hold the accelerator to the floor in my Dodge 360 98, and it just keeps kicking the rev limiter, woo, 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 like it was doing, and everything's just clean, there's no smoke, it's not burning any oil, that motor's still strong. So, I'm at point A. I need to get to point B. All right, so are you talking to me there? Let's see. Marjo, 1. She puts 1 in the chat. She must have just got here. 4 barrels, good. Okay, throttle body is okay. Yeah, I really like the old school throttle body stuff. It was simple, and it doesn't need a lot of pressure. You can start my truck right here. Let me show you. This is the one I'm going to be. This one. Can we get it to focus? There's my 91 Suburban. Okay, on my surveillance system. This is my surveillance. One of the 3 that I have in the house. And I'm not paranoid, I'm just prepared. So that truck will start at 8 PSI. I've seen it tested on the YouTubes. You can start that truck with only 8 PSI pressure. Will it run good? No. It'll be boggy, low power. And according to all the people that have tested the pressure, the thing only needs about 13 PSI to be pretty responsive. So it's going to be interesting to see if the truck runs any better or worse with this fuel pump compared to the in-tank one, because maybe my in-tank one was crappy for a while, because I noticed my truck it didn't have that power towards the end. It seemed like it was just a little bit on the boggy side. But we'll see. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see if it makes a difference in performance. All right, what else is going on here? I guess I could do this here. Front prism. I put my makeup on today, so I should look pretty good. No, I put my makeup on. Do I look any different than yesterday? I can't say that without laughing. 14 watching. Yeah, 14 watching at past midnight here. Let's see. So these are all the night owls, like me. That's cool. So yeah, I want some value to be in this stream. I want there to be some value. So again, that pump looks like it's going to work. So here's the goal. Let me switch to front. Nope, that one's closer. There's 5 cameras on this phone. Can you believe that? Pretty sure there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 lenses. Maybe that's an LED. There's 4 cameras on here. There's 4 cameras. So, like I said, this video is going to stay. I hope it doesn't crash. Almost want to stop my stream just so I'll have documentation that it worked. But I'm going to put the model number of the pump and everything. There's just no lighting in here. I guess that works better right here, right there. So I got to just be right here in the light. I'm sure that's a setting. I colored my stash black. I covered my stash black, haha. My stash black. Man, sometimes I just don't. Reading is not my thing sometimes. Hey, Gigi. G Gab. 1963. I wish YouTube names were easier to say. When you have dyslexia and one brain cell like me, it's kind of hard to read sometimes. Alright. Morning, everyone. Marjo. Yeah, I guess it's morning where you're at. Marjo, it's morning. So, Marjo, I hope you're not eating the vegetable butter stuff still. This is the butter you need to be eating. I went to the store today. You need to be eating this. This is the type of butter that's safe to eat. It's got salt. Can you see that? That's it. Pure Irish butter, grass-fed. Okay? And if you want cheese, they make cheese too, grass-fed. This is safe stuff to eat, okay? You don't want to eat anything else, because if you start reading the ingredients of other cheeses, They got like vegetable stuff in it, like vegetable crap, vegetable oils, and all kinds of weirdness. Just call me G. Okay, I'll call you G. Cool. Deal. That's a lot easier. Mustache. See, I don't know. What are you saying there? I don't know. Anyway. Alright, Truth Junkie. I have half a brain cell. Don't feel bad. Alright, so I got you beat by a brain cell and a half. So Truth Junkie's got half a brain cell. I have 2. Together we're going to take over the world. Pinky in the brain. So yeah, I'm almost to the point to where if it was daylight outside, I'd be installing that system right now. We'd be going for a cruise. See my pick. See my pick says B-I-M-M Jim. Bim Jim? I don't know how to say her name, Bim Jim. The comment that says see my pick. Can somebody help me pronounce that name? Alright, so let's see where our charge controllers are at. 14.2, 14.1. And that's rocking. So today was a successful day. That's me to the left. Yeah, gotcha. I can't see the pic at all. It's so small on my phone. I'll have to go back in the chat and go to your channel to see a better picture. But do you have a channel? If you, of course, I need to trust you first. I can't just rinse you up. But if you have a channel to promote, I'll check you out and see if you're legit. And I bet y'all haven't seen this hat in a while. So how long have you been watching the stream? This will tell you how long you've been watching the stream. How long has it been since you've seen me wear this hat? This is the tinfoil hat right there. Remember the good old days when I'd jump on a panel with a tinfoil hat and the beard and the glasses? The good old days? Yeah, Truth Junkie says, we got this. Hell yeah, we're going to take over the world. With 2.5 brain cells, man, we're smarter than the average population. That's for damn sure. That's great. All right. What else is the chat saying here? That's been a while. Yeah. Loud Red said that's been a while. All right. So G says Arthur Trucker is parking his truck. Arthur Trucker is parking his truck on Friday, not hauling black. Yeah, see, I'm out of touch a lot on some of the trucker stuff. I've been so busy. The only streams that I've lurked lately were We the People, Cowboys Mosh, Ride Along Gang. That's the only ones I've had a chance lately. And I normally don't jump in their chat, except maybe Cowboys Mosh every now and then. But yeah, I've just been too busy. And while we're at it, and this is what I cook on now. I'm sure you've seen this already, but it's an old, it looks like it could be antique. I don't know how long I've had this, and I don't know if I bought it or I got it from somebody gave it to me, or I bought it in a yard sale. It's been that long since I've had this thing. It's the pump style, so you just pump this little plunger here, and away you go. Plump it 35 times. It takes a while for it to settle in to where it's got the blue flame. It's probably because it's so old. And I think it could be this needle adjustment thing here. I need to take this apart and see if it's dirty, because it's not, it doesn't get the right air mixture at first. I don't know if that's air mixture. It's got to be air mixture, but I'm going to have to study that. And then if I need generator, I cook on this with generator power. And the air fryer is also generator. And this is gen power right here. This is my generator power. So if I want to run a hair dryer, an air fryer, top plate, whatever you want to call this, to cook, I can make mashed taters, cook meat, whatever with that. So, and I can also run the toaster oven. On the generator, this is a nice toaster oven. It's a air fryer toaster oven combo by Power XL. Love this thing. It's either an air fryer or a toaster oven. You decide. Alright. And that's my nice little art project. You've probably seen that already with the pots and pans. I'm not hitting my head on them anymore. Well, I think we're going to wrap her up. I want this video to save, and I'm pretty pumped up about the whole thing. So I don't have to go searching for another pump and spend more money on stuff. So we'll stop the stream out here. Alright, we'll go out here. Earlier the frogs were talking, y'all missed it, but the frogs were they were doing that shit, tons of them, but they're sleeping now. I don't think you heard the frogs earlier. Alright, let's see, Black Wolf announced it tonight. He's doing his last haul. Okay, yeah, I'll have to not be so out of touch, but I have no idea. I have 80 videos. Okay, so he does have a channel. I'll check you out there, Bim Grim. But yeah, if you're legit and not a bad actor, I'll hand you a wrench and you can promote your channel, and we'll check you out. Hopefully you do lives. I don't know if you're a new channel, but either way it doesn't matter. But yeah, here's my test lab. I got my fluke meter here. I got a little battery up there for backup reserve. I can use that for projects. Charge controller. These breakers. This one runs the fan out here. So right now the fan's on. We got lights and radio. So radio, lights, and fan, or whatever that. And this is the actual charger. So when I turn that off, batteries are not getting charged anymore. When I turn that on, they're getting charged, and I built my own battery charger that works through a charge controller, and it's got a light for an indicator, which is the buffer. And I built it with a laptop power supply right here, and that's what's charging the battery at night to keep it at float. And that's this battery right here. It's an AGM right here, and I can also run my air compressor that I fixed. That was submerged in water and completely rusted from head to toe. And I took everything apart, motor, pistons, rebuilt it. And somewhere I have photos of that thing, completely rusted, and it works. Boom, with that switch right there. And I use that to air up my, low pressure tires. Anything up to 65 PSI, this thing will do easily, really quick. And I don't have a tank on it. I have a pressure relief valve set on it, and it's a 65 PSI pressure relief valve. So I run all my compressors up here tankless. I run them tankless. And there's a reason for that, but I'll get into that later. Because I don't have tanks. Tanks take up space, and tanks can also blow up when they get old. And I just don't want that happening. Just look on YouTube for air compressors blowing up, and then ask yourself if you want an old tank blowing up around you. They blow out windows, shrapnel. It gets kind of crazy. All right, love you all. I'm going to be into this hot rod. And yeah, see, look, I even have a screen out here where I can watch the camera system. I have one in every room. Like I said, I'm not paranoid, I'm prepared. When you're prepared, you don't have to be paranoid. There's the Suburban. There's the golf cart, solar panels. There's the solar trailer. There's the living room. And that's just one camera system. The other camera system I can easily watch from any computer or smartphone if I want to look at it. But a lot of the cameras are redundant. So that's the way I wanted it. Just in case one system failed, I still got redundancy. So anyway, I think I've covered everything. So I'm going to put the model number of this pump in the description. Not tonight, but after I get my truck running. There is a model number on it. It's etched into the body. And we'll see what the specs say on this thing. But yeah, it was very impressive. It's definitely built for fuel injection. because when I started deadheading it, that needle went way past 30 psi. So rock and roll. Love y'all. Good night, Loud Red. Good night, G. Good night, the new guy. Good night, Truth Junkie. Good night, yeah, the new guy is Jim or something like that, the one that has Eddie videos. Who else is in here? Is Katie in here? Marjo is in here. Good night, Marjo. Good night, Nightbot. Night Sun Honey. She probably already fell asleep. She has to get up early. I know she does. I'm not sure about everybody else. Scratching in India. Good night. If you're still here. Who else? I want to get everybody in the chat. And whoever else is watching that's not in the chat room, good night. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped up. And I'm in probably a 35-hour fast at this point. So I'm not going to eat tonight. It's a waste of time at this point. All right. I'm going to leave with wrench. And I'm going to leave my wrench out in the rain. All right, see, you're just trying to piss me off now. You know, if I give you a wrench, you're not supposed to leave it out in the rain. That's part of the deal. So everybody in the chat, get on Truth Junkie. He says he's going to leave his wrench out in the rain. That's kind of bullshit, man. That's all right. It'll still work. You just got to clean it up. But that's kind of, you know, you just want me to take the wrench back. I know what you're up to. You want me to take the wrench back. And I ain't doing it. All right. I don't need to be ranting anymore. Love you all. Poker Face, the band Poker Face.